Hello. Um, I do have to apologise rather profusely to you actually because my something's gone a bit wrong with my Facebook and it just wouldn't let me go live. So I really apologise for being late. But I am here now, so hopefully you are catching this, whether it's live or you catching it on the replay. The replay obviously is going to be posted into the group, and it will also be posted onto various pages and probably YouTube as well. So it'll be available. So today just wanted to discuss a little bit about, when you're starting up your business and the things to look out for when doing so. And what we're going to say is there's a couple of pitfalls that you really should consider before you rush off out and quit your job. And most of those learned the hard way, and I'd really rather you avoided them as far as possible because they were rather heartbreaking events that happened in my initial setup of the business. So I've been contracting through my own business for many years, since probably about 2006, where I was contracting within, so self-employed within corporate, within financial services predominantly. But it was around 2016 that I decided that I wanted to go off and do some coaching on my own for my own business. And that meant that I then had to do all the things needed doing to convert it into a coaching business as well as a consultancy. So what I would advise you to do, obviously, if you're going to register yourself as a limited company here in the UK, you need to have a name. So the name for your business could be your full name, limited, and you could then have your business trading as something else. In other words, don't fall all over yourself to get your branding done right off the bat, because the best thing that you could do is to work out whether or not you have a minimum viable offer first. So making sure that you have the right product or service that you want to sell to your customers is much more important than your brand name, your logos, your business cards. Trust me, I've got 500 of these things that I never use, mainly because it doesn't even have my right job title on the front, because I thought it was important to have business cards. Obviously, these things are important down the line, but I mean, not off the bat. You don't need a logo. You don't need a logo. You don't need business cards. You don't need anything other than a bit of a social media presence, so that you can get out there and in front of people in the early days. But I would even then suggest that you do your research first. So, say you wanted to go out and sell something like a game, for example, a card game. I would go out and test that with the audience beforehand, make sure that you have people who actually want to buy it before you go and invest in things like branding, naming, business cards, trademarks, all that kind of thing. And another big one that I've just mentioned there is actually trademarking. I've seen a number of people have their business names taken out right from under them. I've seen other people have their business models that they use, so various models on which they base their whole business, taken out right from under them, and somebody else has gone and trademarked them instead. So once you do have your minimum viable product, which is the very least type of product, level of product that you could then sell to market, protect your product. The IPO or an intellectual property office will help you with that. It does cost money, so make sure that you have the right information and the right level of input that you need to give to them before you apply for the protection for your business. But again, going back to that minimum viable product, I want you to consider going to your audience and finding out, do they want what you're trying to sell? Who are your audience? Are you looking pricing it? Is there competition for your product? Because competition is a good thing. When you have competition, it means that there is a market for something. However, that competition also then gives you an idea of what you could charge within for your game, should that be it. And you could then work from there in terms of working out whether or not that product is actually viable. If your product is not viable, you're not going to sell it. Customers don't want what you are offering, you're not going to sell it. So before you quit your job, forget your branding, forget your website, forget all the pretty things. Make sure that what you've got is what they want and that you are going to price it at the right level. Now I have a slight issue with my Facebook here. It's not necessarily showing me everything that's going on, so I don't have any comments coming up, unfortunately. I did see a comment there now from Sheila saying a bit late, internet crashed. Well, luckily, so was I. So, silver linings and that. So, what I'm going to be doing for the rest of August is going live about every second day, probably not on the weekends, but about every second day with some tips on setting up your business and starting out and looking at where do we go to from here, what the next points are. Before we go out and we launch, all of this is obviously building into a proper masterclass where we will have workbooks and everything, and we will work on making sure that not only you have the correct minimum viable product, but also that you know who your customers are and where we go to next. And then from the masterclass, we move on from there. But I'll be putting the link out with this so that you can then register for that masterclass. It'll be slightly longer than this. These lives are intended to be 6-7 minutes, no longer than that. But if you do have any questions, please do let me know, and I will get to them. I'm not seeing any more questions coming through. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know, and I can answer anything for you in the coming days or in the next live if you like. Right, there's no more questions, so I hope you all have a really, really good day, and I'll speak to you probably on Thursday. See ya.